Hi, I'm Peg Bussell. Some people call me Peggy. I am doing a little video here about some art that I did in the past and talk a little bit about myself and where I'm going, hopefully. We'll see. So I've always been an artist. Being a little kid, drew all those years and painted and all that kind of stuff. And then I went off to college to become a graphic designer. My first job out of school was a production artist, and then I went on to be assistant art director at Indianapolis Magazine. Yes, I lived in Indianapolis, and then went on to art director at American Art Clay, and then went on to working as an art director with several other art directors, who I love them dearly, at Kittle's Furniture, a furniture store there in the Midwest, and it was a wonderful job. Then marriage happened in there, baby happened in there, and we came out to Oregon to do a church plant. And then I was here working on church graphics. So I did church graphics for 13 years and other ministry things also. And as the kids grew up, I would also take on part-time jobs. And this is where it gets interesting to me, because as a mom, you start taking on part-time jobs, raising kids. Not always things that you always feel like you're made to do, but you do them. So I worked in the preschool, and then I worked in some of the schools with kids with special needs. Went on to do some art classes at a Christian school and did a little preschool stuff there as well. And then moved on to caregiving. Caregiving was across the hall from the preschool, walked across, asked they wanted help. So I did caregiving for a couple of years. Once again, I'm not feeling like I was trained in doing some of these things, just caring for people and just being yourself, but all the time just kind of feeling a little bit like I'm not quite in my wheelhouse. My first 17 years, I felt like I was in my wheelhouse. I have not always felt like, doing the church graphics, I felt like I was in my wheelhouse. But these other jobs, not always. Then came 2020, and I was feeling like I had applied so many times for graphic design jobs out here, no response. So I went ahead and thought, it'd be kind of fun to work in an outside garden. And I had seen the year prior that a lot of the gardens start advertising at the new year. So in 2020, I applied to be an outside garden sales associate at Lowe's. And that was what got me through the COVID thing. That was awesome. It was a fun job, and I loved it, actually. But I don't think I'm great at retail. I'm good at making things look nice. I think I'm friendly. I make things look nice. I'm not in love with all the behind the scenes with your handheld device and all that stuff. It's funny because I did all the computer stuff, but I don't know. I just totally different doing retail. And but I loved it, loved all the people there. And then my department changed so much again, so I thought it was time to move on. And I saw an ad for being an activity director, so I became an activity director at a senior community and did that for 3 years, 3 months. And it was a good job. Once again, though, kind of out of my wheelhouse. But the neat thing was I got to do my graphics. So I was able to promote all the activities and do flyers, and they had a monthly newsletter I did and the calendar. So I got to do graphics, and I got to love on the seniors, and I love them so much. I will continue to see them. I'm not there anymore. I did quit the job with the company being bought out. I left. There's more to that story, but it was not an easy transition with the company buyout. So I left. I kind of felt like the door was closing for me, actually. And I've had a little time here to think about the art and think about, a big part of what I want to do is I want to talk about Jesus all the time. So I have been working on some art that points to him a little more, does, or at least makes me feel like I'm pointing to Jesus. And so I'm at a place of, am I looking for another job? Because I'm not going to get hired as a graphic designer at age 64. So I'm looking for other work. And I had a job fail last week, which I've never had job fails, so it's kind of funny. So now I'm like, Lord, can it work out for me to get to do my art, and also maybe I'd like to have some days that I go and visit people like at the senior center or shelter or something. So we'll see what God's got in store. But so out with the old. So I'm going to share a little bit about what's here. So the monster paintings I did when the kids were little. That's 2014. And so I don't know if any, so I'm selling these things. I don't know if anybody ever buy them. So I'm going to show you what I got here. We have Coffee Monster here. So that is my Coffee Monster. I don't know if the light's making it glare or not. He's kind of fun. They're all kind of silly. They're all kind of silly and whimsical. They're professionally framed. And so they're all for sale. Don't know if anybody want a Coffee Monster. It's kind of funny that I created these guys because, I don't know, I was raising kids and this kind of was fun to me at the time. So what you do when you're a parent. This turned into being called Pickle Monster because he looks kind of like a pickle. Let's see what we got here. We have Closet Monster. Another whimsical kind of silly thing. He's kind of cute. Isn't he kind of cute? This is kind of hard for me to show these actually because it's so far removed from what I do now that it's almost, I don't know, it just feels funny. It feels funny showing these. This is my bedroom monster. So he's also kind of got a little cute thing. I know that Monsters, Inc. came out like in 2001 or something. I'm sure when the kids were growing up, we watched the Monster movie and I got inspired and did these things. Okay, so that's 2013 when I did those. This one here is not for sale, but I would do this kind of thing for anybody who'd like it. This is a beet underground. This is 2014. And anybody wants any kind of veggies underground, any kind of, I'd be happy to do some commission work with veggies or fruit. I enjoy doing those. Then, let's see, the ones in the very back. I don't know if you can see those very well or not. I'll pull the camera off at the end so you can see it better at the end. Let's see if I hit that. Okay, St. John Bridge is over here. It's kind of whimsical, melty, my impressionistic, abstract. So that's my St. John's Bridge there. And then this one is a still life from also from 2017. I created those to go be hung in the Brookwood Library back in 2017. So they hung there for a while. Then in 2018, this is a farm near where I'm at right now. And so if anybody's interested in buying my little farm, here's a cute little painting of my farm. Or if you're wanting something similar for someplace where you're living, I'd be happy to create some work kind of related to where you live. Okay, little dog interruption. And then one I just got done doing recently. This is one of my more recent. It's a black and white. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's the light in the darkness. And I'm probably leaning more towards this kind of, this is just one piece. Every piece I do is different, I tell you. Every piece I do is different. But this is my current work. And I have 2 upstairs that are almost completed, but they're not done. This one also is for sale. So if you guys are at all interested, please write me and see. This is not easy for me. Oh my goodness, this is not easy for me. There's other stuff I've created, some things that are family related and stuff, and the things that I'm not overly happy with, but I'm still fixing. There's other stuff I've created. But I'm so used to promoting other people, so it's really not the easiest thing for me to get out here and do this. But I just feel like I'm not going to be moving anywhere if nothing's going to go forward until I start getting myself out there and saying, I'm out here and I'm an artist. That's what I was made to be. I don't know if other people feel like they've had to make a living through the years doing things that just aren't quite aligned with them 100%, and it gets tiresome. So I am really just wanting to move forward and do art that I don't know, I want to share about Jesus. I have so many stories and things about God I want to share about. So I started a YouTube channel, and we'll see if that ever goes anywhere. I want to encourage people. I want to point to Jesus in every way I possibly can. And so moving forward, I got to start learning how to sell art. I don't have a website for this. I had it for my graphics. I don't have it for any fine art. I'm not to the point where I feel like I have a body of work pulled together yet. But I'm hoping in 6 months I'll have something pulled together pretty nice. We'll see. And some of my art, I will say, moving forward, a lot of my art seems a little more illustrative. Let's put it that way. A little more illustrative. And I've done that before. I have some other, so I'm starting to ramble. Okay, write me, and we'll see if we'll talk about if anybody wants to buy anything. And I'll videotape a couple of those back in the back a little closer. Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay, these are the two larger pieces. I'll put the dimensions down below. This is the St. John's Bridge here in Oregon. And this is the Still Life over here. I can get a little closer. Yeah, there's something wacky going on with my window, if you're wondering. And then here is, oh, let's see if I'm on an angle. I guess it's okay if I'm on an angle. This is the Still Life. They're actually very fun pieces. My kids might be sad to see these go. If they ever sell. Okay. All right. I'll have all the dimensions down below.